Chapter 15. Frankie and I were sitting at the kitchen table just like always. Him eating his cereal, me eating a banana, when I noticed the newspaper folded up on the table at his elbow. Only when I saw it did it occur to me that it was the first time I'd seen a newspaper since I came home. "Let me see that," I said, pointing. Frankie glanced at the paper, blanched, and shook his head. "Mom says you're not supposed to read the newspaper." "What?" He swallowed his cereal. "Mom says we're supposed to keep you from seeing the newspaper, and, TV and stuff. And we're supposed to hang up if a reporter calls. They don't call now as much as they did when you were in the hospital." "Mom doesn't want me to see a newspaper?" "She thinks it'll make you sad again if you see stuff." "That's ridiculous." "She must have forgotten and left this one out. I'll throw it away." He grabbed the paper and started to get up. I lurched to standing and grabbed for it. "No, you don't," I said. "Give me that paper, Frankie. I'm serious. Mom doesn't know what she's talking about. I was watching TV in the hospital when Mom wasn't around. I saw it all, not to mention I was there at the shooting, remember?" He started to head for the trash again, but hesitated. I held his gaze. "I'm fine, Frankie, really," I said softly. "I won't get sad. I promise." Slowly, he held it out to me. "Okay, but if Mom asks..." Yeah, I'll tell her you were a Boy Scout. Whatever." He picked up a cereal bowl and took it to the sink. I sank back down at the table and read the front page article. "School officials see solidarity in aftermath of tragic shooting. Angela Dash." The students of Garvin High who returned to classes last week report a significant change in the way they see life and relate to one another, according to Principal Jack Angerson. "If anything that came out of this tragedy could be considered remotely good," he said, "it's that the students seem to have come to an understanding of one another, and of the old saying, 'Live and let live.' According to Angerson, it's not unusual to see former enemies sit together at lunch, see old feuds, and as students pair up on a more conscious level. Things are very much more peaceful," he says. "We don't have nearly the number of complaints coming through the counselor's office about petty things that we used to. Behavior difficulties in the classroom are a thing of the past as well," according to Angerson, who predicts that the school can expect to see a decline in the number of behavior problems in the years to come. "I think students are beginning to understand that we're all friends here. That's the criticism. Harsh opinions and quick dislike that are so common in children of this age just aren't worth it in the end. Unfortunately, they had to find that out the hard way. But they learned and they changed, which is why I think this generation will make the world a better place." The students were allowed back into the building to complete the school year, although Angerson admits that curriculum has taken a backseat to what he's calling damage control. The district has hired a team of trained counselors to work with the students on coming to terms with what happened on May 2nd. Angerson also reports that students were not required to come back. No final exams will be administered, and teachers are working closely with the students on an individual basis to ensure every student has the opportunity to earn the grades they need. We have some teachers who are heading up study groups in their houses at night. Some at the library, others are doing it online. But a lot of kids came back, Angerson says. Some of them feel really strongly about their school spirit and want to show support for Garvin High. They want to show that they won't be scared away. Honestly, the main reason we resumed classes was an answer to students' outcry. Angerson reports that he is proud of Garvin High's students for maintaining their loyalty to their school and feels that in the years to come, the students at Garvin High will emerge as strong leaders in society. "I'm so proud of them for being the first wave of what I believe will be the agents of change in this world someday," Angerson adds. "If there's ever to be world peace, it will come through these guys." I smuggled the article into Dr. Healer's office later that day. No sooner had he shut the door than I dropped it on the coffee table between us. "Does it make him a hero, Dr. Healer?" I asked. Dr. Healer scanned the paper with his eyes as he eased into his chair. "Who?" "Nick. If the people who survived are stronger and all about peace like the news says, does that make him a hero? Is he like the Millennium's version of John Lennon, peace spreader with a gun?" "I understand that would be easier for you to think of him as a hero. But Valerie, He did kill a lot of kids. Probably not a lot of people are going to think of him as a hero. That seems so unfair that the school is just moving on and that finally they're accepting everyone and nobody's mean anymore and Nick is gone. I mean, I know it's his own fault that he's gone, but still. Why couldn't they have just seen it before? Why did it take this? It's just not fair. Life isn't fair. A fair is a place where you eat corn dogs and ride the Ferris wheel. I hate it when you say that. So do my kids. I sulked, staring down at the article until the words blurred together. You're probably thinking I'm an idiot for being kind of proud of him. No, but I don't think you're really proud. I think you're pissed. I think you wish this change of attitude at Garvin had happened sooner, and then maybe none of this would have happened. And I also think you don't really believe that it's true. For the first time, but certainly not the last, I purged everything to Dr. Healer. Everything. From talking about Hamlet on Nick's unmade bed, to wishing Christy Bruder would pay big time for what she did to my MP3 player, to the guilt I was feeling. Everything I couldn't say to the cop in my hospital bed, that I couldn't say to Stacy, to Mom. Maybe it was the way Dr. Healer looked at me, like he was the one person in the world who could understand how everything got so out of control. Maybe it was just that I was ready. Maybe it was a newspaper article. Maybe it was my body's way of exploding, letting off the pressure before I destroyed myself. I was a volcano of questions and remorse and anger, and Dr. Healer stood strong under the hail of all of it. He watched me intently, spoke softly, evenly, nodded somberly. Do you think I would have done it? I cried at one point. If I had a gun, would I have shot Christy? Because when Nick said, let's go get this finished, and I thought he was going to, I don't know, embarrass her? Or maybe beat the crap out of her or something? I felt so good. So, relieved. I wanted him to take care of her. That's natural, don't you think? Just because you were happy that Nick was going to stick up for you doesn't mean you would have picked up a gun and shot her. I was pissed. God, I was really, really pissed. She broke my MP3 player and I was so pissed. Again, natural. I would have been pissed too. Pissed doesn't equal guilty. It felt good to have him on my side, you know? He nodded. I thought he was going to break up with me, so having him stick up for me was really good. It reassured me. I thought we were going to be okay. I wasn't even thinking about the hate list. Again, he nodded, his eyes narrowing as I became more agitated. His words floated softly in the air, wrapping around me. Valerie, you didn't get her shot. Nick shot her, not you. I leaned back into the couch cushions and took a drink of my Coke. There was a perfunctory knock on the door, and Dr. Healer's secretary poked her head inside. Your 3 o'clock is here, she said. Dr. Healer's eyes never left me. Tell him I'm running a little behind today, he said. The secretary nodded and disappeared. After she left, I was hyper-aware of the silence that stretched across the room between us. I could hear a door shut in the vestibule, someone talking in the hallway. I felt embarrassed, exposed, a little disbelieving that I'd spilled everything like that. I wanted to slink out of there and never face Dr. Healer again. Hide in my room and will the wallpaper horses to whisk me away to somewhere where I wasn't so vulnerable. But I realized with some amount of horror, even calm and raw and small, I wasn't done yet. There was more. Darker, uglier things I had to know. Things that haunted me at night and wouldn't leave me, like a tickle behind my ear, an itchy spot that couldn't be identified and scratched. What if I wasn't serious about it then? But maybe I am now, I asked. Serious about what? The hate list. Maybe I thought I didn't mean for those people to die, but somewhere, I don't know, subconsciously, I really meant it. And maybe Nick saw it. Maybe he knew something about me I didn't even know. Maybe everybody saw it and that's why they all hate me so much. Because I'm a poser. I set it all into motion with that stupid list and then let Nick do my dirty work. So I don't know, maybe I should be serious about it now. Maybe that would make everyone feel better. I doubt more killing would make anyone feel better, least of all you. They expect it of me. So what? Who cares what they expect? What do you expect of you? That's what matters. That's just it. I don't know what to expect of me, because everything I expected about everything has all gone to shit. And I think people are disappointed that I didn't die. Christy Bruder's parents definitely think I should have killed myself afterward, just like Nick. They wish Nick had aimed better when he shot me. They're parents, and they're hurting too. Even so, I doubt they wish you were dead. But maybe I wish she was dead. Maybe a part of me always did want her dead. Val, Dr. Healer said, and his hesitation told all. If you don't stop talking like this, I'll have no choice but to lock you back in the psych ward with Dr. Dentley. I chewed my lip. A tear slipped down my cheek, and not for the first time, I ached for Nick to hold me. It's just that I feel like such a bad person, because even now sometimes I find myself still wishing he was just in jail, so I get to see him again, I said. Suddenly I was struck with that memory again. Nick holding me down by my wrists on his bedroom floor, telling me we could be winners, of him leaning in to kiss me. I sat on the couch feeling more alone than ever before, feeling colder than I'd ever imagined possible, feeling like of all the horror of what happened, this was the worst of it. This was the worst because, even after everything that had been done, I still miss Nick. Sometimes we get to win too, he told me, and hearing those words in my head again, I began to cry, miserably, achingly. Dr. Healer moving to the couch next to me, his hand on my back. I'm so sad without him, I sobbed, taking a tissue out of Dr. Healer's hand. I'm just so sad. Part 3. Chapter 16. From the Garvin County Sun-Tribune, May 3rd, 2008. Reporter Angela Dash. Max Hills, 16. I thought they were friends, one student was reported to have said about LaVille's decision to shoot Hills, who was pronounced dead at the scene. He definitely meant to shoot him, she added. He bent down to look under the table and made sure he knew who he was shooting before he did it. Hills, described by friends as a quiet student, good at math and science, but not overly involved in many extracurricular activities, had been seen on many occasions chatting with LaVille, both in school and outside of it. Many thought the two of them to be friends, which has had a lot of students wondering why LaVille targeted Hills if indeed he did. Maybe he thought it was someone else, Erica Frauman, a senior, said, or maybe he didn't care if they were friends or not. A hypothesis that has some wondering if the victims were more random than initially suspected. Hill's mother, Elena, however, says that she believes Max was a deliberate target. He wouldn't let Nick borrow his truck last summer, she told reporters, and the next day someone smashed Max's headlights in the parking lot while he was at work. Max could never prove it was Nick who did it, but we both knew it was him. They haven't been friends since then. They didn't ever talk again. Max was pretty mad about the headlights. He paid for that truck himself. When I got home from school, my second day back, I really doubted my ability to keep going back into that school. Forget transferring at the end of the semester. I'd never make it that long. Jenny Baker never came back to class, at least not the classes that she had with me, and Tanil never looked me in the eye. And Stacy and I never sat together at lunch. But pretty much everyone else just ignored my existence, which I thought was pretty good, but hard. Being a true outcast, without even other outcast friends, is tough. I was really glad to get home on the second day, even though Mom kept attempting to mom me like I was still 7 or something, asking me questions about homework and my teachers and my favorite friends. She still believed I had some of those. She actually believed the news reports, the ones that said we were all holding hands and talking about peace and love and acceptance every day. The ones that said kids are incredibly resilient, especially when it comes to the concept of forgiveness. I often found myself wondering if that reporter Angela Dash was for real. Everything that woman wrote was a total joke.